Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hello, and welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 225, Hercules. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Eric.
I should specify this is Disney's Hercules.
Yes, thank you. This is none of those fake Herculeses.
Nope, this is not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pretending to be Hercules.
Did he do that?
He did.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Our friend Matt Brassfield says it's actually pretty good, but, take that with a grain of salt. That man hated One Cut of the Dead, and that is the most delightful movie that has ever been made.
I've never heard of that movie.
It is a Japanese zombie movie. Sort of.
Okay.
I'm not going to say too much else about it, but I can tell you that the very first 30 or so minutes of it is a completely one-take
wow.
zombie movie. And then it goes from there. And
interesting.
It is just a feel-good delight.
Interesting. All right.
Yep. I highly recommend it. It is on Shudder exclusively, but you might be able to find it elsewhere.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
What's it called again?
One Cut of the Dead.
Okay, gotcha. I get it. One cut. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, Hercules.
Hercules! Like Eddie Murphy once said multiple times in a
That's
weird
right.
voice.
Hercules. Hercules. Hercules.
Hercules.
Hercules?
Heracles.
Oh!
We're idiots.
More accurate.
Oh, boy. I didn't realize this was going to be a musical.
I did not either. I apologize.
It's okay.
At least there are not a lot of songs.
Not a ton, no. But I'll go ahead and start out by saying this. Every time one started, I zoned out. It's like I left my body.
I may have done the same.
And you like musicals.
I do, typically. I don't think this was a very good musical.
It definitely, to me, exposed exactly what I dislike about a lot of musicals.
Yeah.
Just clumsy transitions to, bursting out into song. And the songs were just not memorable or good.
Yeah. Yeah, as I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think of what all the songs were. I can think of 3 songs, not including the sort of chorus that comes in every now and then. Like right. 3 songs that are sung by actual characters.
Yeah.
Which is just not enough.
No, yeah. I guess if you're going to go for a musical, go all the way,
Yeah.
But also, I've seen other Disney cartoons that are, musical and, have never been terribly bothered by it.
Yeah.
Especially, from this era, which was sort of the, Disney animated movie renaissance of sorts.
Right.
Like Beauty and the Beast. I'm not gonna lie, has some pretty memorable tunes in it.
It really does.
And yeah, other than just explicitly stating narrative. There's not much to the music in this one.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of cookie. It's just kind of cookie cutter, except maybe for Danny DeVito's song.
Yeah,
but even that's still pretty
that's
generic.
Also hindered by the fact that it's Danny DeVito singing it.
That's true. Though, I mean, I saw him sing in the It's Always Sunny musical, and he was excellent. So,
well, I'm glad you brought up that show, because his character in this is sort of like a G-rated proto Frank Reynolds.
He really is. Like casting Danny DeVito as a satyr was really perfect.
And it kind of looked like him.
It did, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, this movie. I don't know. It was okay.
Yeah, so I was interested in watching this because I had heard people say that it was a good Superman movie.
Okay.
And now, having watched it, I can see that.
Yes.
Because it's almost beat for beat the original Superman movie.
It definitely takes some cues for sure from it. I mean, the entire, first 20-25 minutes of it for sure are, the origin of Superman.
Yeah.
Just flat out, it's Superman.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much it was the origin of Superman.
I mean, I was delighted by that too.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not a complaint. I enjoyed that part about it for sure.
Yeah, I was also shocked, and I know when you picked it last week, you had mentioned, comic book ties to it, or at least comic book people, saying that it's a good movie to watch. And when Hercules is discovered by a kindly farming couple and then adopted because they've not been able to have their own child, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, and then immediately displays a feat of massive strength.
Yes.
As a baby.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, just hit me over the head with it.
Yeah, right. The only thing that really differs from it is that his paw doesn't die.
True.
But he does have that sort of moment of realizing that he doesn't necessarily belong, and he needs to figure out where he's really from. Moments.
Yeah. So he goes off and talks to his father.
Yep.
His real father.
Yes.
And then he goes on a quest. Basically. So yeah, this and obviously, his home planet doesn't get destroyed.
No, yeah.
So that's a little different.
Yeah. There's obvious differences, but there are so many obvious similarities, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and just sort of picking those out, I really enjoyed that part of it.
Oh yeah, me too. And I think there's a little bit of Thor in there too, but that just may be me connecting the pieces of godlike superheroes.
No, I definitely I thought of Thor as well, because it's all about, it comes down to Hercules having to prove that he's worthy of being a god.
Right.
And that's absolutely the plot of the first Thor movie.
Yeah. And the basis of the early Thor comics anyway.
Right.
All that's missing is him pretending to be a limp doctor.
That would have added a lot to the movie.
Yeah.
Give Hercules a secret identity.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a Hercules animated series. Maybe they do that in there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll never watch it.
Is that on Disney Plus too? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Excellent. All right.
But you know what? The movie didn't grab me enough to make me want to watch an animated series.
I would be interested to see what serialized stories with these characters are like, because this is definitely an origin story.
Yeah.
Like the ending of the movie pretty perfectly sets up more adventures to come. So, with that out of the way, I would be interested to see what it's like. I might try an episode or two just to see.
Sure. I think it's actually a prequel series, though.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's takes place basically in that in-between time where he is, in his training phase.
Oh, well,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Less interested now.
Yeah, just watch DuckTales.
That's almost always a better choice between watch DuckTales or do literally anything else.
You know what? Can't argue.
Yeah, it's just a great show.
Sure, I'm not even really that much into DuckTales, but yeah, my choice is DuckTales and something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably pick DuckTales.
At least DuckTales is a known quantity.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't say this was a bad movie because it has a lot going for it.
Yeah.
Just the superhero aspect of it is nice to, a big nerd like me. And I'd say for the most part, this is a gorgeous looking movie.
It really is. Yeah. The animation, I know we've talked about hand-drawn animation before. And yeah, this is, I feel like, one of maybe the last Disney hand-drawn animated movies. And yeah, it's spectacular.
Yeah. I love the style of it overall.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's drawn in a style that definitely makes you think of ancient Grecian art.
Yeah.
But it's also fairly modern animated, and there's a small aspect of, I'd say Batman the Animated Series type style in it, the Bruce Timm style.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And also, like you mentioned, with the choruses earlier, when they come on, I think they have just a slightly different style to their animation, and especially when they were doing the summary of the origin of Zeus and the Titans and all that.
Yeah.
There's an even more different style that I just really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's definitely just a beautiful movie to look at. Yeah. Even the computer animated stuff, a lot of times with the early computer animation, it's super obvious which parts are hand drawn and which parts are computer. And I mean, I think, I'm thinking specifically of the Hydra sequence, Hail Hydra. You can tell that the Hydra was done on a computer, just because it's such a complicated character. But it's still the blending of that and the hand drawn animation is still pretty seamless. I think it looked really cool.
I would have to disagree with you on that aspect.
Oh, no.
I was going to bring up the Hydra specifically as one of the worst aspects of the animation anyway. There's definitely computer enhanced animation throughout, and I agree with you that it's, the blending of it is pretty good. But boy, to me, the Hydra scene stuck out like a very sore thumb.
Oh.
And kind of took me out of it for that sequence.
That's too. Yeah, I wonder why I had such a different reaction.
I don't know. Is it because you're younger?
I might have fallen asleep during that. I don't know.
All right.
No, I don't think I fell asleep.
Okay. I mean, you seem to remember it pretty well.
I do remember it pretty well, except for apparently the part where I thought it looked good. Yeah, I don't know. It just it worked for me.
Hey, different strokes, different folks.
I've heard that in a song before.
Uh-huh.
I forget where. In the back of a toy store is where I heard that.
Oh boy.
Yikes.
Yikes, yeah.
What am I talking about?
Oh, I don't know. I just hope you didn't see any dirty magazines.
I didn't. Definitely not.
That's good. That's good. But, that was the only time I really had any big issues visually with the movie anyway. It was just that one scene.
That's good.
So, it's not bad. I mean...
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, that was sort of in the early days of CG animation, and not all of it worked as well as others. But yeah, it was fine. Sorry, I had a cat just walk in front of my screen. So.
No, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
So I want to talk about the elephant in the movie.
And
that's James Woods as Hades.
Sure.
I really enjoyed his performance in this movie. And if it had been anyone other than James Woods, it probably would have been my favorite part of the movie.
So yeah, he's come out to be just a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just a bad human being all around. And I don't think reputationally he was really all that great to begin with, but he's just really swinging for the fences lately. But God, I cannot deny that I think he is a fantastic actor. And I have pretty much enjoyed every movie I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
And this was no different. He is a delight as Hades.
Yeah. I read that that John Lithgow was originally cast as Hades.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that they recorded all of his dialogue and then went back and re-recorded it with James Woods.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to see what Lithgow did differently, because the way that James Woods plays him is just so entertaining.
Right.
There's comic relief in the movie in the form of his hench demons.
Played by Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt Frewer.
Right. But even just Hades himself is just wildly entertaining.
Yeah, it's a very funny role, while still being very evil. Because I also probably read the exact same thing you did. When I read that John Lithgow was the original voice, I could kind of imagine how he would play it. I just feel like he probably would have played it dark and arch.
Yeah.
And just slow with a low voice and menacing. Whereas James Woods just kind of plays him as just kind of a huckster lawyer, Yeah. Just like someone trying to like sell you a car who's wearing a lot of plaid.
Yeah, he's exactly like a salesman. He's just this fast-talking, sort of quipping clever guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get that sort of salesman vibe from him. That's a really good comparison.
Yeah. I also feel like, and prone to just violent outbursts, which visually is done very well as well.
Yeah.
Where his normally calm blue hair fire just like engulfs his entire body and turns red, which I think is just a great visual.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
But like I could, knowing that John Lithgow was originally that role, like I could see, or like, kind of like mentally hear in my head how that would go too. And it just felt more like that'd probably be among like, his outburst as Dick from 30 Rock from the Sun, or 30 Rock from the Sun.
Oh, that's amazing. See, I guess I would imagine it more as like just cool rage, I guess. Right. Like I think that Lithgow seethes very well.
He does indeed. But as much of a black mark as James Wood is, and just in general, he really kind of owned this role.
Yeah.
I remember early 2000s or whatever, I played Kingdom Hearts, which is like the Final Fantasy mashup with Disney movies.
Right.
And because I had never seen this movie up until yesterday. But, Hades shows up in the game, as voiced by James Woods. And I remember him being very memorable from that as well, even though I don't remember too much about the game because I never beat it, and it's been 15 some years.
Right.
There's quite a few Disney movies from this era that I just never got around to seeing, and I don't know exactly why, but at the same time when I watched it, I was like, this might be kind of why.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think like Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame and then this one are, I think, the only three from the 90s that I hadn't seen, unless there's others that I'm not remembering.
I don't know.
Others like from after that era, because I know I saw, like Aladdin and basically the ones that came before that one.
I saw Aladdin and I saw Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
But I never saw Lion King, and I definitely never saw the others you mentioned, or Mulan. Was that in this area?
Oh yeah, that was. I've not seen Mulan either.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid. Have you seen that one?
I did see that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I did enjoy at one point Hercules is wearing Scar's head from the Lion King. I thought that was really cool.
I was curious if that's what that was.
Yeah, it was a nice little callback.
Yeah, I like that too. It's a fine, entertaining movie. It's cheesy in spots, but the voice acting is good throughout, and it's like we said earlier, it's just beautiful to look at. But as a musical, it definitely is. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to think it's great in the first place, but I would imagine that somebody who actually likes them might not enjoy this one as much either.
Yeah, like I said, the songs are just kind of blah. And my other big thing with musicals is that when I listen to the soundtrack, I like it to feel like I've seen the whole movie again.
Mm-hmm.
and there's just not enough songs in this to, like, it doesn't work that way. Like, you get a couple of what are called I Want songs. There's the one from Hercules, and then there's the one from Meg sort of later on. And then there's the song from Danny DeVito, which is just sort of like a fun little song.
Yeah. And
then the Fates, or the chorus every now and then, but yeah, it's just like the villain doesn't get a big song. I thought that was surprising, because usually villains get a pretty good song in a musical, and I don't know what kind of singing voice James Woods has.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily have to be him.
That's true.
Hercules was voiced by 3 different people in this movie.
True.
One of them, it was just the singing voice.
But yeah, it's just, I think it would have been fine without the songs.
Yeah. And like the very first song that happens is, the chorus, and, cutting off Charlton Heston as the narrator.
Yeah, what the hell? What in the world?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Another fantastic human being, apparently. But at least he has passed.
Oh, did anybody ever pry that gun away from him?
I hope a monkey did.
Oh, damn dirty apes.
But yeah, the first chorus song that starts, and that's, obviously when it occurred to me that, this is going to be a musical. It was also super cringy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the gospel truth.
Yep. And I didn't know if it was just me and, my distaste of, people singing at me. But, it got real uncomfortable real quick.
Yeah. It's also pretty weird that those are the only black characters.
Yeah.
And they don't have names. They're just the chorus.
Yeah. I mean, they're credited on IMDb with names.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. As are the 3 Fates, who are all creepy.
Right.
And I think Keith David, or is it David Keith? I can't remember which one is the black guy.
Keith David from season 6 of Community?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Keith David.
The Thing, or, They Live, sure.
I know he's been in other stuff, but that's what I know him from.
No, I mean, that's easily the most recent thing I've seen him in. He does the voice of one of the gods, and I think he literally only has one line towards the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Keith David is also Solivar on The Flash. He's the voice of the King of Gorilla City.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, wait, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking Grodd, and I was like, no, somebody else does the voice of Grodd.
Yeah, I forget who does Grodd.
Yeah. No one with a name.
Okay.
I think that's actually just a gorilla who can.
I think you're right, actually.
Speak telepathically.
Yeah, they actually genetically enhanced a gorilla specifically for the TV show.
Yep.
I remember reading about it in Entertainment Gorillas Weekly. There was a whole cover spread on it.
Oh, wow. I should subscribe.
You should, yeah. Just head to egw.com. It comes out quarterly now. It's weird that they still call it Entertainment Gorillas Weekly.
Yeah, that is very well. I mean, pandemic has really screwed up the publishing schedule for everybody.
That's true. Anyway,
yeah. There were. I enjoyed some of the moments at the end when Hercules embraces true heroism. I thought him rescuing Meg from the river Styx was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, I really liked the animation specifically during that scene as well.
Yeah,
just the way that sort of withered Hercules looked.
Yeah,
was really cool.
But so there's a scene where he basically makes a deal with Hades to have his powers taken away for a day, while Hades goes off with his grand plan, and he does it. Under the concession that Meg will not be harmed at all during this time. But then she gets harmed, and he gets his powers back because the deal is broken.
Right.
And then, she winds up, spoilers, dying, and he goes to save her in Hades, the place.
Right.
Not the guy.
It's real weird that he named the place after himself.
Yeah, he's a narcissist.
It's true.
He's just like Trump.
He's James Woods.
He is James Woods. But to me, because he gains godhood once he basically sacrifices himself to save her life.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it seems like him taking on the Cyclops with no powers whatsoever. That should have been the moment where he is deemed worthy of godliness, because that to me seems like a truly heroic act as well.
Yeah.
And I get it story-wise why they do, what they did, but, when he goes to save Meg at that point, he has his powers back.
Yeah, and saving Meg is almost more of a selfish thing. Like, there's just souls swirling around
right
in this vortex in Hades, and he's there just specifically to save the one that he happens to be in love with.
Right.
So, yeah, and I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah. Which is also, just another aspect of, I think, all of these, kind of movies anyway. Is, boy, that romance feels tacked on.
Yeah.
It's just not a ton of development to make me really believe it.
She's the only girl that he's ever talked to.
Yeah, pretty much, other than his mom.
Right. And that would be weird.
Oh, super weird. And that's just his adopted mom. He's never even met his real mother.
It's true. Oh man, they really played fast and loose with Hercules' origin in this. From mythology to the Disney version.
Oh, I mean, it is 1,000% Disney-fied.
Yeah.
Because once you read any little bit of, actual Greek mythology, it is not safe for children.
Yeah. I don't remember Zeus ever turning into an animal and having sex with a human woman in this movie.
In this movie, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, that definitely did not happen in this movie.
And it's disappointing. It would have looked beautiful with this animation.
I'm sure, right? Maybe we can get an R-rated version done by Disney.
Yes.
Or whatever their R-rated, sub-studio is.
Release the Lithgow cut.
Yeah, there we go. Little known fact, Lithgow said fuck in every other word in this role.
Wow.
That's why they chose to go a different way.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Somehow, James Woods was able to keep it clean.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. I mean, this movie was also made, 25 years ago. Close to, anyway.
Yeah.
So he may not have been a total garbage person before then.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could have gotten worse.
He probably was. But, I'll always have Videodrome.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Ooh, that's another great movie I would recommend, especially if you enjoy stomach vaginas.
I don't know, because I've never seen one, so I guess I'll have to watch to find out if I do. Yikes.
Yep. It's very Cronenberg-y.
Ah.
Because it's David Cronenberg.
Because it's David Cronenberg, yeah. So I get a kick out of the content warnings on Disney Plus.
Okay.
We've been watching the Marvel movies again,
mm-hmm.
and there have been a couple of them that have had content warnings at the beginning that the movies include product placement.
Huh. Weird.
Which, yeah, it was for Iron Man 2, and I think The Winter Soldier both had those. None of the other Marvel movies have that content warning.
Huh.
Or maybe it was Age of Ultron, now that I think about it. But yeah, there's only like two of them.
What products?
What products aren't placed in those movies?
Well, that too. But like, I mean, I remember, when the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man came out, like, Dr. Pepper was in that movie fucking everywhere.
Right.
But like, I can't remember anything too obvious from either of those movies.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just like Cars.
Probably, yeah.
Or I don't know. Watches.
I remember podcasts that I used to listen to just spent like 20 minutes complaining about the first Thor movie, that like the specific brand of cereal that he's eating. And I was like, I didn't even fucking notice. I've never heard of that cereal.
What a strange thing to fixate on.
Yep.
But I mentioned that because there was a content warning at the beginning of this movie, which is rated G.
Yes.
That it contains tobacco depictions.
Yep. And there's one.
There's one, yeah.
James Woods smokes a cigar. Or
yeah.
Hades smokes a cigar.
Same difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Little known fact, James Wood is, in fact, the ruler of the underworld.
Yeah. I mean, if you follow him on Twitter, it's not a little known fact.
Bobcat Goldthwait has been replaced by Adam Baldwin.
Oh. Yikes. Oh, man. That's awful.
Yeah. That's another aspect of the movie that I was slightly disappointed in, was that he's got the two henchmen, Pain and Panic.
Mm-hmm.
And Panic is voiced by Matt Frewer, who is a personal favorite of mine. And the role just wasn't really there, and it didn't even really sound like Matt Frewer.
Yeah, I didn't recognize his voice. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bobcat Goldthwait's voice is very recognizable.
Yep.
But neither of them really has much to do.
This is also true. Yeah, I mean, there's comic foils, but they're. I mean, you could almost cut out almost all of their scenes, and the movie would still be the same. Yeah.
Aside from the part where they disguise themselves as a horse to seduce Pegasus.
Well, I mean, that's the greatest scene that's ever happened in cinematic history.
I'm glad we finally saw it. I remember when they talked about that scene on Unspooled. It's like number one on the AFI list is Citizen Kane, but honorable mention is just this 15-second clip from Hercules. They had some really insightful thoughts about it.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and listen to that.
You should.
Yeah.
It was a special episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I stopped listening to that show after a while. I decided that I only wanted to hear Paul Scheer talk about bad movies.
I see. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Hercules. So, yeah. Hercules. Yeah, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a bad movie.
No, not at all.
There's just some stuff that didn't really land for me, and that was, enough to sort of drag it down to just okay, I guess.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Nah, I perfectly agree with you. It is absolutely average. Just, it's good visuals. It's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Memorable villain.
Probably a good movie to have on while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah. Thinking about all the Superman aspects of it, I do wonder, though, there's a scene kind of towards the end when Pegasus blows out Hades' hair, and Hades is bald.
Right.
Wondering if that's a Lex Luthor jab.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know.
The whole thing with the planets having to be aligned was another Thor thing that I thought of, because it's basically the plot of Thor: The Dark World.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Which I only remember because I literally just watched it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot that was an aspect of this movie.
It's sort of the whole villain's plan.
Okay.
But it's not super well developed.
All right, yeah, because I guess that explains why it had to take 18 years to get to that point. Then. Yeah,
it was like the planets had to be aligned in order for Hades to release the Titans, and then. Not really sure what his plan was after the Titans kill everyone, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was just friends with the Titans because he let them go.
I guess.
I don't know.
He did say it was like a land grab, which again reminded me of Lex Luthor.
Sure. Oh yeah. There you go.
So I don't know. Maybe he just wanted the world.
I think so. Yeah, his plan's not great, but his character makes up for it.
Yeah.
I have not much else to say about this movie, but I feel like I ran out of stuff to say about half an hour ago.
I'm glad we kept talking about it.
Yep, me too. It's just a joy to talk with you, Joe.
Aw, it's nice to talk to you as well.
Thank you. And also the cat's been pleasantly quiet, so it's just one of those things where I just felt like I should just really take advantage of this.
Absolutely, yeah. You got to enjoy it while you can.
Yep, because the rest of this night is going downhill from here.
Oh no. Oh, is there anything that's bringing you joy this week?
No.
Totally fair.
Yeah, I haven't done much of anything. I haven't watched or read anything. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
All right.
Yeah, you?
Probably the only thing for me is that I've been catching up on the. So DC has been doing daily digital comics.
Yeah.
For the past three or 4 months now.
I think you're correct. Yep.
Yeah, and I decided to just buy a bunch of the Superman ones.
Okay.
Because I'd heard they were good from people who really like Superman, and I've been catching up on those, and they are delightful.
All right.
They're just sort of 12 to 18 page Superman stories. Sort of, they're classic in the sense that he still has his secret identity.
Okay. He doesn't have that in the current comics, right?
He does not.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah. Clark and Lois are married, so it's almost sort of set in the pre-New 52 continuity.
Okay.
But ultimately they're not concerned with continuity, really. They're just standalone stories. And just really entertaining, and for $1 a piece, It's not bad. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm glad that DC is continuing to do that, even now that they've got books back in stores.
Sure.
Just that's an interesting model, and I'm enjoying supporting it.
I knew that they existed. They're doing a whole bunch of different ones. I think some of them have only lasted like 2 issues or so, though. Because I remember there was a Spectre one that came out like a month ago or so.
Yeah,
and I don't think there was ever like a 2nd or 3rd issue of that.
Yeah, I think they've been cycling through the stuff that was in the Walmart books.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like if there were Walmart one shots, that's what that, like the Spectre or like a Swamp Thing or whatever, would come out of.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I think they've actually started to do new stories.
Okay.
Because I know there's like some of the Superman ones haven't been in previous issues, and like they've done some Flash ones, and then they got through all of the Walmart stuff and they took a break, and then they came back with another new story.
Okay.
So it's probably just sort of a sporadic schedule.
Okay, that makes sense. I know the Superman ones, David LaFuente drew one recently.
Yeah.
And I was really interested in that because I love that guy's art.
He's very good. I like him a lot.
Felt like there was something else I was going to say about these, but it just felt like, like back, almost 10 years ago now, when DC first started putting out digital books, and they had like Adventures of Superman and Legends of the Dark Knight as digital only books that they eventually collected. It felt like, they're doing this again.
Yeah, I definitely see that. It is very similar to that. Yeah, I don't know. It is. Okay. I hadn't drawn that connection, but that's a good point.
Okay,
I'm glad they're doing it again.
I really like Superman, but I don't think I really ever want to read like canonical Superman comics.
Sure.
So, I'm always interested in, short one-offs, or, that's why I've always enjoyed Elseworlds or whatever, just because, I can't be bothered to keep up with continuity. Especially from what I know about current Superman continuity.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Which, I'm sure it's fine, but whatever.
I really like the way that Brian Bendis writes Superman, but I haven't really loved the stories that he's written.
Right. I read his initial Man of Steel series. Yeah. Like you said, I think he writes Superman pretty damn well. I don't really care about the actual adventures that he's having.
Yeah, like the ones that are just like, oh, Clark goes back to Smallville to visit his parents or whatever, like that I enjoy more than whatever else is going on in the series.
Avenge Leviathan.
Right. Oh, God.
Is that still going on? Is it running concurrently with Zero Year?
0 Year, yes, still going on. Of course. We're entering the 7th year of 0 Year.
Yeah, Scott Snyder's, still just writing chapters of it.
Right.
They're not being published anymore, but he's still going.
Ugh. Do you want to pick a movie for next week?
Okay. I'm gonna pick a real stupid one.
Awesome.
I guess feel free to veto if you don't want to watch it, and I'll have to come up with something on the fly.
Okay.
But my choice right now is on Amazon Prime, and it is the Transformers prequel, Bumblebee.
Awesome. I have not seen that. I actually wanted to watch that.
Okay.
So yeah, I would never veto that.
Excellent. Good. Because I didn't have a backup.
You could have done Transformers Dark Side of the Moon.
Ooh, no. I did have a backup in mind, actually, but I own it on Blu-ray, and I don't believe it's streaming anywhere, and it would have just been an issue.
I would have made it work.
We'll figure it out some other time.
Okay, that works.
I will tell you this, it's a Blu-ray that I bought for $1 at Dollar Tree.
Nice.
And I was like, for $1, I can always just resell it if it's terrible.
Yeah, you could say you'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, and I did.
Well done.
Yeah.
Putting your money where your mouth is.
I did purchase another Dollar Tree Blu-ray a couple weeks ago called Pie Wacket.
Pie Wacket?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the name of a witch from Bell, Book, and Candle.
Okay.
And it is also the name of a cat that my parents had before I was born.
Interesting.
But it was $1, and it's a horror movie, and I watched it, and it was pretty goddamn good for $1.
Nice.
So, can't go wrong.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Pie Wacket.
Yes.
All right. Bumblebee
next week.
I'll talk to you then.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.